So that's good. Okay, thanks.
The City of Frankfort Board of Commissioners regular voting meeting. Today is May 23rd. And first, we will not have an invocation tonight due to illness. And hope you're feeling better, Father. We'll go next to the Pledge of Allegiance. So all rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I ask the city clerk to call the roll.
Commissioner Rosen.
Present.
Commissioner Unger.
Present.
Commissioner May.
Present.
Commissioner Waldridge.
Present.
Mayor Wilkerson.
Present. And that's ceremonial and recognition.
I have a few.
Commissioner Waldridge.
See what I cover over everyone else looking at. First and foremost, we want to say, I just want to say a big congratulations just because of Kentucky, period, to Noah Thompson from Louisa and Justin Thomas for the PGA. Noah won the American Idol, so that represents Kentucky. So I want to give a shout out to them. Also, Kentucky State has been selected to be part of the National Battle of the Bands that Toyota is sponsoring in Houston, Texas on August the 27th. So super excited about that because we have the best band in the land. Also want to give another shout out to the 30th year anniversary to the 1992 Western Hills High School softball team. They were recognized at their alumni game this past week. So just want to give another shout out to them as they won their championship in 1992 and advanced on to the state tournament during that year. I want to give a shout out to our school systems as those that are graduating, and I have a couple. Liam Breek, he's a 5th grader. He is graduating from 5th grade at Capital Day. He loves videos and loves money, so he's my type of guy. He loved the STEM program at Capital Day. His favorite part was making a racetrack there while he was there, and he loves his favorite class is Spanish, and he loves the small classes at Capital Day School. So congratulations on Liam Breeken graduating 5th grade on to 6th, and congratulations to all of our graduates graduating from 5th grade, graduating from 8th grade, and graduating from high school and college and starting and embarking new opportunities in their life. So that's great. I want to give a special shout out to Kentucky State University graduates here in town. They had a wonderful graduation, many accolades, a lot of smart people entering our workforce, and hopefully some of them will stay here in the Frankfort area and get jobs here. But congratulations to them. And last but surely not least, I want to congratulate all the men and women in our fire department, the entire commission, every single commissioner and the mayor, as well as our city manager was present at the award ceremony, which was recognized as the first in probably about 7 to 9 years that the whole commission, the mayor and the city manager, was present. And I think that speaks volumes on all of our behalfs in supporting our men and women in the fire department. And I was very well impressed with the accolades, the training, and the dedication that our men and women put forth daily. I know it was 2 years of awards because of COVID, but it's a very impressive group, and I feel safe with our firemen and women in our department. And I just want to say a huge shout out to them, and I wanted to end there in case anyone else wanted to share, but it was a wonderful event, and I am beyond impressed with our men and women in our fire department. So thank you and congratulations.
I would like to just recognize, last week, May 15th through 21st is National Police Week. So thank you to all that serve in the city of Frankfort's police department. We appreciate what you do every day and know you go above and beyond to keep the community safe. And we just are very thankful to have those of you that are here with us right now, and thank you so much.
What's the dates again? I didn't know that.
May 15th through the 21st was recognized as National Police Week.
Okay, cool.
And thank you to the community partners that brought lunch, and
Yeah,
I know we saw a couple of the banks come out for that, and that was much appreciated.
awesome.
Any other recognitions?
I agree with everything Katricia said in particular about the police, and about the fire department in EMS, and have nothing more to add for this.
All right, well, we'll move on. I don't think we had any citizens' comments tonight. And next is the consent calendar. Turn it over to the city manager.
Thank you, Mayor. Item number 1 on the consent calendar are the minutes from the work session on April 11th, 2022, and from our regular meeting on April 25th, 2022. Item number 2 is the request to purchase 5 bus shelters. Staff is requesting approval from the Board of Commissioners to purchase 5 bus shelters from our lowest bidder, Brasco International, for the total cost of $44,125. And the purchase would be 100% reimbursed with fiscal year 22 grant funds provided through KYTC. Item number 3, the purpose of this memo is to request approval for the purchase of 3 new return activated sludge pumps for the wastewater treatment plant from Xylem Water Solutions for $188,638, and for the mayor to sign all related documents. Item number 4 is a professional services contract with Prime AE Group. Staff is requesting Board of Commissioners approval for this professional services contract for sanitary sewer improvements between Jet Boulevard and Duncan Road. The work will not only fix pipes that are currently exposed in a creek, repair some culverts, and some other ongoing issues. It will also replace the current 10-inch existing sanitary sewer pipes from Jet to Duncan Road to 24-inch pipes. The 10-inch pipes are currently, they are undersized to serve planned economic growth around the US 60 corridor and south of I-64. Staff recommends approval of this contract in the amount of $307,550. Sorry, couldn't get that one right this time. Consent agenda item number 5. Staff recommends the Board of Commissioners accept a bid by Industrial Scientific for the purchase of 6 multi-gas detectors and accessory equipment in the amount of $26,729, and to authorize the mayor to sign all related documents. You all may recall that during the BOC meeting on April 26, 2021, the board authorized the fire department to apply for 2021 Kentucky Homeland Security Grant, Office of Homeland Security Grant, in the amount of $107,000 for the replacement purchase of hazmat monitoring devices, and this is part of that. A budget amendment was completed earlier this fiscal year to cover the expense of this grant. Item number 6 is a use agreement between the city and Circle Play and Learn. Staff recommends approval of the use agreement between the Parks Department and Circle Play and Learn Academy for an alternative forced school program at Capitol View Park. The Parks Department has been in discussions with Shannon Gale, a local Frankfort resident who operates an alternative homeschool option for children called the Circle Play and Learn Academy. Upon review from the Parks Administration, as well as the city attorney and I, we feel that the requested use inside Capitol View Park for the school and the term of use agreement is agreeable and will not adversely affect day-to-day operations at Capitol View Park. As with most use agreements, there'll be a 30-day out clause, and there's an annual fee of $250. Item number 7, staff is seeking approval for the mayor to sign and execute a memorandum of understanding between Kentucky State University and the City of Frankfort and Frankfort Police Department to assist Kentucky State University in performing the U.S. Office of Minority Health grant program entitled Please Call Me Mr., an after-school mentoring program for African American and Hispanic males. Our Frankfort Police Department has been involved with this program for several years, and pre-COVID, we generally had about 30 to 40 participants who did participate in this program. Kentucky State University will provide after-school youth development programming and mentoring using volunteers and college students, and the youth will be aged 12 to 17. Our police department will be paying monthly visits, helping to mentor, do different sessions for program youth, family, staff, and volunteers. They'll also make youth available to the Frankfort Police Department Explorer program, and will serve as an advocate as well. And this MOU is a term for 3 years, and looking forward to another great opportunity that the City of Frankfort and the Police Department can collaborate with Kentucky State University. Item number 8, the purpose of this memo is to request Board of Commission approval for the purchase of SciTech software, SciTech consultants for the design and development of a new property tax application for use by the City of Frankfurt Finance Department. The cost is $52,900, will be budgeted and paid for in fiscal year '23 upon completion and testing of the project. Just want to highlight a few reasons why this is really important and beneficial to our citizens. We will now be able to accept credit card payments at the counter for walk-ins. Processing fees, though, will still apply using a credit card machine. Property tax bill information accessed through a website by taxpayers will be interfaced with the new application and updated in real time as tax bills are paid. Taxpayer errors will also be eliminated since this will be updated in real time, and allow our citizens to have more options for online payment. Item number 9 is our personnel actions. And we are accepting the retirement of David Gibson from Public Works and Streets on May 6, 2022 as street superintendent. We're also accepting the retirement of Jeff Roberts from the Police Department on May 31st, 2022 as Patrol Officer 3, and we authorize payout of accrued leave. We're also appointing Yvonne Holker to our E911 department on May 3rd, 2022 as a telecommunicator 1. Also appointing Catherine Nivison and Public Works and Transit on June 7th, 2022 as a transit driver. We are also appointing Alexis Allen in our City Manager department, who's here with us tonight, on May 16th, 2022 as a project specialist. We're also appointing Oscar Guevara from the Police Department on May 10th, 2022 as a Patrol Officer 1. We're also accepting the termination of Jeremy Magruder in Public Works and Solid Waste on April 21st, 2022 as a Solid Waste Tech 1. We're also accepting the demotion of Chris Woods in the Fire Department on April 26, 2022 to a Firefighter 3. We're also accepting the resignation of John Penfield from the Fire Department on May 22nd, 2022 as a Fire Sergeant, and we authorize payout of accrued leave. Also accepting the resignation of Victor Valdiva from the Fire Department on May 24th, 2022 as a Firefighter 2. And also accepting the resignation of Daniel Quire from the Police Department on June 2nd, 2022 as a Patrol Officer 2 and authorizing payout of accrued leave.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, I'll ask clerk to call for the roll.
Commissioner Rosen?
Yes.
Commissioner Unger?
Yes.
Commissioner May?
Yes.
Commissioner Waldridge?
Yes.
Mayor Wilkerson?
Yes, and the consent calendar is approved. And next, we have the boards and appointments. And if it's all right with the rest of the board, I'd like to table number 3, the appointment to the Housing Authority.
Sure.
Pending, we need to make sure that the requirements of the board are fulfilled before we make that appointment, so we'll revisit that in June. So, number 1, Code Enforcement Board. Appointment of Eric Northcutt, expiring April 24th, 2025, replacing Corey Bellamy.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, a motion, Commissioner May, second, Commissioner Waldridge. Any discussion on this board appointment?
Was Mr. Bellin, I know he was expiring, are we just replacing him, or was he finished with that and serving? I know he's a busy individual.
And he wants to continue on with the Civil Service Board.
That's what I thought, okay. I know
If
once
you
you're on
prefer-
so many boards, it's
prefer-
hard, and that's why we ask, okay. Good.
Seem to prefer that one.
Good. All right,
Any other discussion?
call for a vote.
Clerk, will you call for the vote, please?
Commissioner Rosen?
Yes.
Commissioner Unger?
Yes.
Commissioner May?
Yes.
Commissioner Waldridge?
Yes.
Mayor Wilkerson?
Yes, and that motion carries. And next, we have the reappointment of Timothy Mayer, expiring April 24th, 2025.
Move to approve.
Motion, Commissioner Waldridge,
Second.
and second, Commissioner May. Any discussion on this reappointment? Okay, seeing none, I'll ask the clerk to call for a vote, please.
Commissioner Rosen?
Yes.
Commissioner Unger?
Yes.
Commissioner May?
Yes.
Commissioner Waldridge?
Yes.
Mayor Wilkerson.
Yes, and that motion carries. Congratulations. And we'll move on to action items. Number one, our first reading.
An ordinance creating and establishing for bid a non-exclusive telecommunications or related non-cable franchise for the placement of facilities for the generation, transmission, distribution, and sale of telecommunications or related non-cable services within the public right-of-way of the City of Frankfort for a 10-year duration, and providing for compliance with other relevant laws, regulations, standards, and ordinances, definitions, work, materials, and construction standards, wire moving and tree trimming, performance bonds, indemnification, insurance, access to property and inspections, notice of filings with the Public Service Commission, no vested rights, limited assignment, notice of foreclosure and bankruptcy, cancellation or termination, violations and penalties, permitting and inspection fees, additional permitting and other requirements for substantial new construction, and bid requirements, all effective on date of passage. And I'm sorry, did we
We
get
had
a
a
sponsor?
Commissioner Waldridge will
Okay.
volunteer to
That's
sponsor
okay.
that one, yes.
Okay.
It's okay.
Halfway through reading that. This ordinance creates a telecommunication franchise within the City of Frankfort, including the following: a process for advertising and accepting bids for non-exclusive franchises, allowing purchasers to use the city's rights-of-way for telecom infrastructure, a non-refundable bidder application fee of $8,000 and non-refundable administrative advertising fee of $2,000, requirements regarding use of city property in compliance with all applicable laws and permitting requirements, provision of detailed construction plans, environmental impact studies, and other information subject to city approval, various notice provisions regarding proposed activities to the city, community, media, and other utilities, responsibility for disturbances and damages caused by franchise-related activities, penalties for violations of the ordinance, and various other requirements regarding bonding, insurance, transfers, and termination.
I'd just like to add in this, and I guess what you call, what we're looking at is small print, because it's not in bold, right? Is that we do try to cover every facet that we can before a project start. Some projects, as we're stating, is that if they come in and start them without our knowledge, or that is not on behalf of the city, but we will try to get down to the bottom of it, as we've had a couple of projects in the recent times, and you guys have really been on it and communicated with the community, which is good. And that's all our community wants, is just something on the door and communication on when someone's gonna be digging in their yard and who's gonna replace that after, that it's not just replaced, but replaced appropriately. So I appreciate this small,
Yes,
This small
Commissioner.
writing on this,
Thank you,
so.
and that's exactly what this does. It allows the city to maintain control
Yes.
over these large infrastructure projects when they come into town.
Yep. So thank you.
Action item number 2.
Thank you, Mayor. The purpose of this item is to request Board of Commissioners approval to authorize our Division of Solid Waste to declare a conveyor as surplus property. We've had this conveyor since the early 2000s. It's no longer in safe and operating condition, so we'd like to surplus it.
Move to approve.
Second.
All right, motion to approve the surplus order and a second, Commissioner May. Any discussion? Seeing none or hearing none? City Clerk, will you call for a vote, please?
Commissioner Rosen,
Yes.
Commissioner Unger,
Yes.
Commissioner May,
Yes.
Commissioner Waldridge.
Yes.
Mayor Wilkerson.
Yes. The motion carries. Action item number 3.
Staff is seeking approval and authorization to enter an assistance agreement between the City of Frankfort and the Kentucky Infrastructure Authority to provide up to $1.5 million of loan funds for project number A21031, which is our Miami Trails Sanitation Project, which has been an ongoing project for quite some time. And Kenny is here to ask if you have any specific questions about the project.
Move to approve.
Motion to approve
I'll second it.
and a second, Commissioner Rosen. Is there any discussion or questions for Kenny here? Seeing none or hearing none, I'll ask the clerk to call for a vote.
Commissioner Rosen,
Yes.
Commissioner Unger,
Yes.
Commissioner May,
Yes.
Commissioner Waldridge.
Yes.
Mayor Wilkerson.
Yes, and that motion carries. And action item number 4 next.
Staff is seeking approval to take the revenue loss standard allowance for the American Rescue Plan Act funds to use the city's allocation of $7.1 million for the execution of government services. As you all may recall, Rebecca Hall, our grants manager, presented on this at the last work session, how it is advantageous and much easier to just take the standard deduction that we qualify for the ARPA funds. By the way, the Treasury Department and the Kentucky League of Cities have both encouraged all non-entitlement cities to utilize this standard allowance.
No reason not to, correct?
Move to approve.
Motion to
Motion to
approve
approve.
the resolution.
Second.
And a second, Commissioner Waldridge. Any other discussion? Ask the clerk to call for a vote.
Commissioner Rosen,
Yes.
Commissioner Unger,
Yes.
Commissioner May,
Yes.
Commissioner Waldridge.
Yes.
Mayor Wilkerson.
Yes. And that resolution passes. Action item number 5.
Staff is seeking approval for the resolution that would allow the mayor to sign the professional services agreement with Strand Associates for the Home Street Raise Planning Grant. The city had sent out an RFP for these services. We received 3 bids back, and our city RFP review team, which also included Kelly Anderson of Thornhill Education, who is right there close to Home Street, an important partner in that area, to evaluate the responses, and they chose Strand. I would say we're really excited to take this important first step in creating a new vision of accessibility, walkability, and overall improvements to Home Street.
And so what does that look like a little overview for those that don't know what the RAISE grant is?
So the RAISE grant is
The
a
RAISE grant.
transportation grant that we received 2 months ago, over $600,000. It's for planning and environmental services for Home Street. So when we, in everybody's vision, want to do improvements to Home Street, this is the first step, because Strand then will do the work to lay out the vision, do all the planning, traffic counts, looking at parking and sidewalks, also do an environmental assessment, you name it, that will be a part of this. And there'll be extensive public engagement. We'll be reaching out to our partners in that area and to engage with citizens about how we can improve Home Street, making it more walkable and livable.
Thank you.
I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion and a second, Commissioner Rosen. Any other discussion on this?
I think it's great that we have this opportunity to work with Home Street, because I think it's been overlooked for a long time, and it has some great possibilities.
I'll just add that this will take a year. And then once we complete this will allow us to apply for federal grants to the actual construction and implementation of the plan.
You know, with Second Street sort of coming to an end, we hope, soon.
Yes.
I'm looking out at Chuck Knowles. But with Second Street hoping to come to closure, hopefully sometime maybe in August or so. But it's just, you know, a lot of people have brought up Home Street, and Home Street has been on our table for a few years now, and getting to where we are, and everything does take steps to get there. And so that's why I wanted a little overview to let people know we've not forgot.
Yeah.
We did mention them many years ago, but it takes time, and with COVID, it did put things back, but we're moving in the right direction, and this will take time. And Home Street will probably look like Second Street eventually. We hate that, but that's how we have to get to where we're going. So, thank you.
Any other discussion or questions? We have the experts in-house. Okay, I'll ask the clerk to call for a vote on the motion.
Okay. Commissioner Rosen,
Yes.
Commissioner Unger,
Yes.
Commissioner May,
Yes.
Commissioner Waldridge,
Yes.
Mayor Wilkerson.
Yes, and that motion carries. And action item number 6.
Staff is seeking approval from the Board of Commissioners to approve the agreement amendment number 4 in the amount of $206,097 for Strand Associates, who is our project manager contractor for the Tiger project. This entire amount will be paid for using federal Tiger grant funds, and it's available in the project's contingency budget. Strand Associates has experienced increased costs associated with, among many activities, daily construction inspection that have increased, necessary design revisions, delays working with utilities, and the utility conflicts and relocations, among many others. Our project manager, Chuck Knowles, is here. He has reviewed and concurs with the need for this amendment and actually sat down with me and spent some time with me so I could understand it as well for the need for this amendment to our Tiger project.
Motion to approve.
Second,
A motion, Commissioner May, was that a second by Commissioner Rosen?
yes.
Any discussion or questions on this motion? We have Chuck Knowles here.
Okay, I have one question.
Yes.
Does this mean that the schedule for completing Second Street is expanded as well?
No, one of the reasons for this increase is that the contractor got started about 2 months earlier than we thought. They actually started work back in January of last year. And Strand had built into their estimate to do construction inspection a 17-month time frame, but now we're into a 19-month. So that's one reason for the increase in the inspection. This will not set back the completion date of August 1st. It's still a substantial open to traffic date. And they're getting ready to move on to Capitol Avenue, which y'all need to be prepared. We're going to try to maintain traffic in two directions there, but still rebuild that block between 2nd Street and the end of the bridge. So there will probably be some people that want to talk to you. But, I'm trying to stay out in front of it and contact all the property owners, let them know what's happening and coming their way. So, August 1st is still the completion date that we're looking at. And there's a heavy liquidated damages clause in that contract, which
Right.
Pace doesn't really want to get into. Every day they're late, it's $10,000 liquidated damages. So they're trying to avoid that, obviously.
Well, hopefully the weather will help us.
Yes, this week doesn't sound too good. But, yeah.
Okay.
We all need to understand, when we say substantial completion, open to traffic, that means the sidewalks are done, curb and gutter, storm drainage, streets all done. But some of the activities will continue into the summer and fall. We'll probably suspend landscaping during the hot months of the summer and finish that up this fall. Then we got the wayfinding signs to put up that we expect to get in the next couple of months. So there's work that's going to continue, but for the most part, it'll be open to traffic and people will be able to get around.
I have a question that sort of falls in line, I guess, with that. Since we're coming to a close August 1, I'm not a road department person by all means. However, I've driven by, and I'm assuming they've just paved to allow us to use that road right now to keep our traffic flowing, that it will be repaved once they get to the end, because right now it looks like a roller coaster looking down 2nd. It's really like this, and I
Yeah.
just want to make sure it's not going to stay like that. We're going to get a flat road in the end, correct?
Right, right.
Okay.
If you notice, all along the curb, there's about 1.5 inches drop there.
Uh-huh.
Unfortunately, the water, we have a heavy storm, can't really get to those inlets as well as it should, but
Okay.
contractor will come back and put 1.5 inches of fine asphalt right on top.
Okay.
And they'll put the new permanent pavement markings down at that time.
Okay.
I think the contractor's wanting to do all of that on 2nd Street, a final surface sometime, maybe in June.
Okay.
And then finish up Capitol Avenue in July.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Chuck.
Chuck.
Thank you all.
All right, any other discussion? If not, I'll ask the clerk to call for a vote.
Commissioner Rosen,
Yes.
Commissioner Unger,
Yes.
Commissioner May,
Yes.
Commissioner Waldridge,
Yes.
Mayor Wilkerson.
Yes. And that motion carries. Action item number 7.
Thank you, Mayor. Staff is seeking approval of a resolution in support of the Franklin County Hazard Mitigation Plan. This plan is a federal government requirement. We must complete it every 5 years. And this plan was a collaborative effort with the Kentucky Division of Emergency Management and the Bluegrass Area Development District.
I saw Logan earlier. Is he? Okay. I don't
He's
know.
right there.
We have Logan Hart from the Bluegrass Area Development District. If anyone has any questions for him, you know, I talked to Emergency Management. They were good with this plan.
Were there any major changes from what we've done in the past?
So,
You can come to the microphone.
so the primary difference between the 2017 plan and this year's plan is, in 2017, the plan that we did was actually a regional plan for all 17 counties in the Bluegrass Ad region, and we had individual sections for each county. Or individual sections within that regional plan. This year, each county has its own plan. So it's a lot more detail, a lot more information on different disaster events, demographics. Generally, just a lot more detailed this year.
Thank you, Logan. Any other discussion? Well, I entertain a motion to approve it.
I move that we approve the resolution, development, and the hazard mitigation plan.
Okay. A motion to approve the resolution in support of the development of the Franklin County Hazard Mitigation Plan by Commissioner Rosen,
Second.
second Commissioner Matt. All right. Any other discussion? I'll ask the clerk to call for a vote.
Commissioner Rosen,
Yes.
Commissioner Unger,
Yes.
Commissioner May,
Yes.
Commissioner Waldridge,
Yes.
Mayor Wilkerson.
Yes, and that motion carries. And moving on to action item number 8.
Some folks may have been aware of the need for this action item. The staff is seeking approval for the emergency purchase of new air conditioning system in the amount of $28,769 to Sizemore Heating and Cooling for the Yes Arts Building, formerly Frankfurt Plant Board, and where people voted, and the mayor to sign all related documents. As some of you may know, the first day of early voting, the air conditioning unit went kerplunk. Pretty ancient, from 1998. So we did do an emergency purchase. There have been installing it, but in the meantime, we accommodated people with a portable AC unit and some fans, and so luckily it didn't get too hot in there.
Yeah.
But we are seeking approval to do this emergency purchase.
Motion to approve.
Motion Commissioner Waldridge,
I second.
second Commissioner Rosen. Is there any discussion on this one?
I think this will be a good addition for Yes Arts to continue using the building and putting part of our property to good use.
Ask the clerk to call for a vote.
Commissioner Rosen,
Yes.
Commissioner Unger,
Yes.
Commissioner May,
Yes.
Commissioner Waldridge.
Yes.
Mayor Wilkerson.
Yes, and that motion passes. Action item number 9.
Thank you, Mayor. Staff is requesting approval for an additional $60,000 for the professional services contract with Von Pettit Legal Group regarding the ongoing legal services in connection to Kyle Thompson's removal from the Board of Commissioners. Normally, city staff, we seek approvals in $20,000 limit when we do seek approval for professional services. However, because of the continuing litigation, we are requesting a bit more because we've already used most of it up and we're already into even a second amount. So to ensure that another funding request does not have to be made in the near future, we'd like to increase the amount of funds dedicated to the defense of the city related to this litigation and request an accompanying budget amendment.
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Commissioner May. We have a motion.
Second.
All right, a motion to approve the legal fees and a second by Commissioner Rosen. Is there any discussion on this one?
Yes.
Commissioner Waters?
With this, so we're asking for another 60,000 to be a sort of a puddle for us to start going in, so we don't completely run out of fees and covering our legal fees. Once this, we're hoping not, because this is to me is wasting city funds for an unreason, but neither here nor there. It's something we do have to do. But after the 60,000, it seems the first amount went pretty quickly.
The first 20,000, yes. Yeah.
Very quickly, as we use multiple litigation attorneys and things of that nature, because of so many of us being involved in different facets that we're involved. My thing is, once we hit the 60,000, is that you're coming back if we hit the 60,000 to ask for more?
Correct.
I don't foresee this sort of leveling out anytime soon. So I guess we're gonna continue funneling money for all of these attorney fees, of going out, and then you guys are just gonna come back and continue to ask for increase until this ends.
Yes.
Unfortunately, Commissioner, and just to draw your attention to a part of the memo as well, as I am a named party, I cannot represent the city in this matter or participate to the extent that I normally would. Although I have continued, as you all know, to defend the city in other actions separate from the litigation that have been brought related to this. So,
Thank you, and that's what I was trying to get at, that
yes.
some people I think see it as, why isn't our attorney doing this? And it is because you are listed, and so
Yes.
the community needs to know that we are doing all that we can to keep the funds down, but I foresee this going on for a while, and continuing to funnel more money that does not need to go into legal services. So thank you for bringing this up, and I do hope that this does come to an end soon, so we can stop funneling money into legal expenses that are not needed. Thank you.
And there's still a chance that we don't use this, right?
There is a
Going up to,
That would be great.
there's a chance.
What's the percentage of that chance? Okay, let me
I'm
stop.
not an attorney, I will not comment.
Motion.
We have a motion to approve.
A motion in a second.
If I may say just.
Hold on 1 second, we have a motion to approve this.
And a second.
A second, Commissioner Rosen. Okay, any discussion? We
We
have
already have.
Alicia Boyd would like to step forward.
Just a clarification for Commissioner Waldridge, my apologies.
No,
So
that's
that's
okay.
60,000 would be a budget amendment to get us through the end of the year.
Okay.
So we've got 5 weeks left. I suspect that hopefully it won't be
Okay.
more than that. And then we've already put some legal fees, cost
In
into
the
the
budget.
fiscal year 23 budget. Just wanted to let you all know.
So not necessarily for this, but just for all litigation.
Not necessarily, but yes, sir, it would be legal fees that we would be budgeting in fiscal year 23 for a various number of reasons, and possibly including
Right.
this.
So if so if we're here, we're saying up to 60 up until the end of this budget, but if we don't use it, it will
Cool.
then stay with this budget, and we will continue over into the 2023 year.
With new.
With new budget
Correct,
of
yes,
that.
ma'am,
Yeah.
yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Okay.
So just wanted to clarify to make, for you guys, so, all right, thank you.
okay, thank you.
Makes sense. We
That
have a
makes
motion, and
Thanks, Mayor.
any other discussion? Seeing none, clerk, call for a vote, please.
Commissioner Rosen?
Yes.
Commissioner Unger?
Yes.
Commissioner May?
Yes.
Commissioner Waldridge?
Yes, no matter how much it pains me.
Mayor Wilkerson?
Yes. And that motion carries.
And I want to be clear that Mayor May made that motion,
Commissioner.
and Rosen, or Commissioner, sorry.
Second.
Sorry. Maybe one day.
I don't know
Commissioner
who made-
May?
who made
Commissioner
that?
May, I'm sorry. Commissioner,
I thought it was
May.
Commissioner Waldridge.
no, 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 no.
No.
See, that's where I was making
Okay,
sure I was
Commissioner May
correcting.
made
And
the
Commissioner
motion.
Rosen
Yes.
seconded?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, there we go.
Okay,
You taking
Right.
that one, Commissioner?
got it.
Yes,
Okay.
I got
see,
it.
I knew you were hinting that I did that.
Action item number 10.
Thank you. The purpose of this memo is to request BOC approval of a lease agreement between the City of Frankfurt and Bluegrass Canoes, doing business as we all know, Canoe, Kentucky, and authorize the mayor to sign all related documents. For many years, the City of Frankfurt has had a lease with Canoe, Kentucky to lease a portion of Riverview Park in Frankfurt for the purpose of renting canoes and kayaks, of course, get on board for the bourbon boat and all the wonderful activities that they offer. And it's a great way to encourage use of the Kentucky River and provide more tourism activities in Frankfurt, which we know are important to our citizens. The city will receive the amount of $500 per year in exchange for leasing the premises.
Motion to approve.
A second.
Okay, motion Commissioner Waldridge, second Commissioner Rosen. Any discussion?
I think this is great to promote use of the river for recreation. And I think it pairs nicely with the electric bike project that we also have going down at Riverview Park. And it's good. Hopefully, the river will stabilize, we'll have less rain, and people can utilize it.
I just want to make clear that underneath of this, since they are leasing that their insurance does cover that, and all persons that are getting on and off the river at that time, that it will be underneath of Canoe Kentucky's insurance. Thank you.
Well, I hope they continue to have a good year. That last year, I think they had a record-setting year, the year during the COVID, so they bring a lot of people onto the river.
Yes.
So, any other discussion? See none. Clerk, will you call for a vote, please?
Commissioner Rosen?
Yes.
Commissioner Unger?
Yes.
Commissioner May?
Yes.
Commissioner Waldridge?
Yes.
Mayor Wilkerson?
Yes, and that motion carries. Which concludes action items. We'll move on to new business. Any?
No?
Okay, no new business? All right, moving on to unfinished business.
I have two. I just wanted to go back to our consent calendar to number 8 in regards to the expense for the finance for SciTech. I just wanted to mention that this is, like they said, it's a great opportunity for us to move forward, great opportunity for our residents for online, but also understanding this in my budget meeting with the city manager and Miss Alicia, that it was mentioned that I'm really pushing for a lot of this to go online, and we are looking to probably have to expand some of the funds in this area, in this department for the city, so we can serve the community better, such as online budget, where you can see our budget, where you can pull budgets up and understand them and be able to grab them, which will lessen a lot of our records requests through our office. The more that we can make available to you, which are your documents, the more feasible it is for our staff to continue working on pertinent issues. So we're going to continue doing that. So be aware there will be hopefully later on some ask for funds to continue to put us in the 21st century and further with that, and getting information that is feasible and easy to grasp for our residents. My second item is number 2, the relocation. I think that falls under Miss Katie Beard for our purchasing the bus shelters. And I know that I've been on a little bit longer. I know we talk about bus shelters quite a bit, but I was wondering, have we thought or have we done any relocations of some of those shelters that would behoove our community, such as, I know one issue that we have is the one near the park. I know a lot of people are trying to get a bus shelter or a bus stop near the Leewood Apartments, because there are some people that are that have some physical handicaps and things of that nature coming in down. People are walking all the way up in pouring rain, and that is a huge area of, you know, people that don't own a lot of vehicles in that area. Is it possible for us to look at that again to see if there could be a bus stop that could go around Capitol Avenue and back, not Capitol Avenue, but Capitol City Day, that road, I think it's Leewood, or no, Deepwood, and then come back around to come back up? Would that loop throw, I guess that, really, would it put it,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'll talk about that with Jennifer Hall, the
Okay.
superintendent of transit. We do have scheduled 3 phases, and this is phase 2.
Okay,
So I don't believe that one is proposed in this phase 2, but we could definitely look at that for phase 3
okay,
and see if that's feasible. I think we're putting, with this, we've got bus stops already, but we're putting new shelters at 5 different locations, which I probably won't remember. I'm sorry, but
No, that's okay.
Leonard Wood, and
Mhm.
there is
Okay.
one in the Leewood area, but I don't think it's exactly where you're talking about.
no, I think it's
And
right
then
across from Casa,
There's one on Louisville Road, and
yeah.
two others that I'm not calling to mind right now. But yeah, there is a phase 3. When
Okay.
we set up this contract, it was for 15 total shelters,
Okay,
and we've done 5, and now 5 more, and then 5 more next year
Okay.
maybe.
okay. That place, it continues to get brought up.
Okay,
and it's-
sure.
so,
I'll mention that. to
Something we can
Jennifer.
look into.
Put it on the list.
Yeah, thank you. All right, that's all I have. Did you guys have any? Yeah. Ms. Rosen, did you have any information?
All right, looks like, I think we have one other new business. Without objection, do we, Rebecca Hall wants to, we have a CDBG, proposed CDBG application. I'll let her.
So, yes, Patricia, to answer your question, I had some questions about solid waste and those things, but, since Byron is out, that's delayed.
I understand. Thank you.
So, I'm sure you all remember Proclivity, the senior living home that is coming to Frankfurt. They approached Bluegrass Ad and the Department for Local Government for a CDBG Economic Development Grant to take care of some infrastructure, some water lines and a turn lane in from Martin Luther King into their property. And we were approached to see if the city of Frankfurt would be willing to do that CDBG grant for them. It'll be about $1 million if you look on the information that I gave you. I think that the water line was a little over 700,000, and then about 180,000 for the turn lane. So I know there are questions. Usually economic development doesn't preclude us from doing other grants, but since we don't have an open grant, this would preclude us from applying for any other CDBG grants until this project is about 80% completed, which would be between 15 and 21 months. So without objection, if we just tell them that we would like to be the pass-through, then they'll go ahead and start environmental, and then at that point, we'll come back to you with agreements and that sort of thing.
So if it's the will of the board to support this effort, or if you have some other questions about it, but again, it doesn't cost the city anything. We serve as a pass-through through the Bluegrass Bluegrass Area Development District. They
Correct.
receive it. We're the pass-through for Proclivity to build their senior living facility.
Correct.
Yeah, Commissioner Rosen.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I am a little concerned about what you said, that we can't apply for any other grants
CDBG
through,
grant.
yeah, through Bluegrass, during this time frame. Have we applied for many things in the past? Would this affect our future projects?
We haven't done any CDBG grants, I believe, since 2014 or 15, I want to say, and that was a sewer grant, a sewer separation grant. That doesn't mean that something won't come up, but
We haven't used it as
we
often.
haven't used it in a while, and we've been talking with Department of Local Government, and I feel confident that this $1 million would be approved by the Department for Local Government. That's not the case with other grants. They would be competitive grants.
I see.
What's the, why are we hearing about this tonight? Why did we get this today and not previous?
Part of that's my fault. I apologize. They did send me an email last week, and I was out with COVID and didn't respond until late last week. So part of that's my fault.
And sort of piggybacking on Commissioner Rosen is, yes, we haven't used it in a while. However, we do have several projects going on that we have really pushed forward. The Parsons, all of these things we've even approved, the road for the state to do behind J.C. Penney's and all of that to connect through Collins Lane. I think we have some things working on Home Street. We don't foresee that this would be something that would be beneficial to any other, because we have signed a great contract in what we've signed with moving forward, and it does seem like, and I'm so sorry you were sick with COVID, because I was too, but it does seem like that they wait almost to the last minute to get anything to us. Even last week to me is not suitable for a meeting for it to be vote, and it seems that they wait last minute on everything. Do you think there's a reason for that, and why they're just trying to push things through to hurry up to get us to always support? Because that's sort of what happened at the beginning with our first that we signed off on. And that may not concern you, I'm sorry, it's just this, but.
I don't believe there was any ulterior motives. I think that they were just looking to get this infrastructure completed, and they found out there was CDBG economic development money available.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just the course that they took. Like I said, this really doesn't, we can still come back, and if you decide you do not want to do an assistance agreement, we can pull back from this. There's about 90 days worth of environmental that'll have to be done.
Okay.
So we can go ahead and if it's a pleasure of the commission, move forward with that and see where that leads us.
What is the deadline for this?
I do not know what their deadline. That CDBG has a pretty open deadline, but it's probably like September.
Okay.
But
So
they're
we
trying to
could
get
think
that
about this or
they're
discuss.
trying to get that environmental done
the key,
before.
environmental assessment done.
So, but if we approve this, then our ability to apply for a future CDBG grant is gonna be in the hands of someone else that we won't have any control over.
If we, do the assistance agreement and move forward, yes.
And I don't, is there a reason why we haven't done anything since 2014 on the CDBG? It seems like we should be doing something at every opportunity, right?
Right.
We, typically what we have been doing, where, in the past, since I've been here, the CDBG grants we've received have been typically for sewer, usually, for low-income areas, obviously, that's what CDBG is for. And in the past, probably 7 to 8 years, we've been utilizing KIA loans opposed to grants, just because they're a sure thing, and they're very low, interest rate. CDBGs are pretty competitive.
I like what, you know, I don't know, I just think that I think we need a little bit more time on that, because that, you know, and just sort of what you said, and some of our issues that the community have with proclivity in coming in this area is that, just as you mentioned, you know, CBG, they lean toward low income areas, right? And that's why they'll get this money, and maybe that's why we feel they'll get the $1 million. But at the same time, we haven't been given clarity from proclivity on the prices of this area, and will it actually serve? They're gonna get a grant that is leaned toward low income, but is it gonna serve low income?
Well, the economic development is a little bit different for CDBG. It's for their employees. So they would have to have at least 51% of their employees be low to moderate income prior to being hired by them.
There's
Okay.
another option here, is that originally this could be proposed to go through the county to do that. You know, this is proclivities located in the city.
Yeah.
We thought this was a good effort as part of our other work with IRBs. But there's another option that the CDBG grant could go through, it would have to go through the county.
Yes, that's true.
We'll see. I
Maybe
mean,
that's
I
a
think
discussion we can have.
We'll just, does anybody want to vote on this tonight?
I would rather not. I would rather table this and to have a discussion, and maybe send you and the city manager to have a discussion with the county and what their options are. It seems like the city's always rushing to take responsibility and do a lot of things, and we don't give the county enough push to say, hey, we're a city and we're inside your county, but it's all county. And I just would
Well,
like that
and the
conversation
county's
to happen.
offered, I mean.
Yeah,
they
I think
offered.
it's just a discussion that needs to be had.
I'm not against, I'm not saying we wouldn't do it, I'd like to know if there's anything on the horizon that there's the chance that we may be using a
That's my issue.
CDBG grant for.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
fair.
I think that's, so if there is no deadline, so maybe we can bring this up at the work session or the future voting meeting, and,
Does the county have anything that they would need this grant? And if the county does it, that means we're still open to do ours in case, we just have so many different properties, and I'd hate to just push it, you know, that off on one property and.
Sure,
Yeah.
if I may, Mayor,
Yep.
I just want to point out that they may choose, because I know they are wanting to get started, and I just want you
Okay.
all to make sure you're all aware, they may say, okay, the city needs more time, but we want to get started, so they may go to the county,
That's
and
fine.
in the meantime, just want to let you all know that if we come back
it might
and
be
say.
another 30 days.
I think
for
we've
us
showed
until
we've showed our support in previous contract that we have with them,
Right.
so.
Sure.
Okay,
Mhm.
that's fine.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I do have, if it's appropriate to bring up another topic at this
New
point.
business?
Yes.
Yes.
I was looking at the other side of the river from the dam, looking from, Rick's Seafood over to the beach shore over on the other side, and wondering, I know the city owns that property that's, downstream from the dam, and if that would be an appropriate thing to consider of making another city park. And so it would be a park, in the Bell Point area. Would go down to maybe as far as where the Humane Society will be leaving. And that, it would have the advantage over other parks that we have along the river, that getting down to the water is very simple and easy versus stairways that type of thing, and that it is a sand beach, and be something that we could consider as a project in the near future.
I can connect with Sean Pickens and see what that would entail and bring back some ideas if it's the will of the board to investigate this.
Sounds like great, another thing on my lap.
I think that'd be good, and it has the advantage that we already own the land and it's just sitting there.
Yeah.
So that's something that could be utilized.
Right. And no other new business or unfinished business. Now entertain a motion to go into executive session.
Mayor, I move that we go into executive session per KRS 61810B, deliberations on future acquisitions of real property related to parks where publicity would likely affect the value of the property. Action may be taken in open session.
I second that.
Motion Commissioner Waldridge and second Commissioner Rosen. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, we'll now go into executive session. open session. Okay, we're now back in open session.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to authorize the city solicitor to bid on property at 751 Browns Ferry Road if sold at a future master commissioner sale up to the max bid price suggested in the executive session.
I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion, Commissioner Waldridge, second, Commissioner Unger. Any discussion on this motion?
Yeah, Mayor.
Okay, Commissioner Unger?
I'd just like to add that, as a former WAFI president and member of that board for a while, I know that this piece of property could be important and lend to the potential Browns Ferry Trail that could improve walkability for the community.
Seeing none or hearing
Call
none?
for a vote.
Ask the clerk to call for a vote.
Commissioner Rosen,
Yes.
Commissioner Unger,
Yes.
Commissioner May,
Yes.
Commissioner Waldridge.
Yes.
Mayor Wilkerson.
Yes, and that motion carries. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
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 We're adjourned. See you next time.